We are now crossing over to NBC's Selima Hennock at Parliament, who will be speaking to the Speaker of the National Assembly, Professor Peter Katjavivi.
Good evening, viewers. We are coming to you live, that is from Parliament, and we are joined by the Speaker of the National Assembly, that's Professor Peter Katjavivi. He's just going to give us a brief of the life and role of the late Martti Ahtisaari. But before we get into that, he's just going to read a quick tribute message before we get into the questions. Professor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome.
Good evening. It's a great pleasure to be here with you on a very sad day like this one. We extend our deepest condolences to the family and the people of Finland as we mourn the passing of His Excellency Martti Ahtisaari. He was a great Finnish statesman and a dear friend of the people of Namibia. His legacy transcends borders and is deeply cherished, both in his home country, Finland, and in Namibia. Martti Ahtisaari's profound impact on our nation as a head of the UNTAC team during the difficult period of our transition to Namibia's independence is internally linked to our country's history. His unwavering commitment as an international civil servant remain as an inspiration. Martti Ahtisaari was a tireless advocate for global peace and stability, and his foundation continues to make substantial contribution on this important, crucial area. As United Nations Special Representative for Namibia from 1977 to 1990, his leadership was instrumental in our journey to independence. His guidance in shaping the Namibian peace plan and our transition to democracy has left a very important mark on our nation's development and reconciliation efforts. Today, we mourn the loss of a true friend of Namibia. His wisdom, his courage, his compassion will forever be remembered by many of us in Namibia, as well as those whom he have touched through his peacekeeping efforts around the globe. On behalf of the Namibian Parliament and its people, I express our heartfelt condolences to his wife Eva and his son Marco and the entire family back home in Finland. Martti Ahtisaari's legacy will live on, and his profound impact on our nation will forever be appreciated.
Professor, if you briefly can just tell us your encounters with him and some of the work that you might have been doing, working closely with him as well.
Way back, I was a member of a team requested by His Excellency, the founding president, to visit Helsinki and to request the government of Finland formally to release him in order to enable him to serve as a United Nations Commissioner for Namibia. That was the beginning of his engagement on the Namibian question. So I have known him for many years as a friend, and we have interacted a great deal. There was a time when the UN plan was set in motion. I was requested also to play a facilitating role, sensitizing the men and women who were being recruited by the United Nations to come to Namibia. So I helped to orient them in terms of talking to them about Namibia, the history, the cultural aspect of our country. So it's someone I've known quite well.
And Professor, maybe just briefly also, how did the late Ahtisaari handle the fallout between the UN peacekeepers and South Africa after the April 1 armed confrontation between the People's Liberation Army of Namibia and the South African Defence Force?
That was a particular challenge. perhaps unexpected, but in many ways the sort of thing that are likely to occur when you are implementing an important assignment such as that, where there has been so much conflict between the oppressed people of Namibia and the South African occupation. And of course, all I can say that common sense did prevail. Wisdom did take place in terms of helping us to make sure that all stakeholders were sensitized about the importance of maintaining peace and stability to allow the United Nations to proceed with the implementation of its mandate. And of course, all stakeholders who were then engaged at that time, including Martti Ahtisaari, played an important role in making sure that we retain the control and maintaining the United Nations in order for them to proceed with the implementation of the United Nations mandate in Namibia. So the rest is history. What is important that we managed to regain control at everything. Looking back, if you talk to most of the people who are connected to the United Nations, they will tell you the United Nations mission in Namibia is one of the best, one of the well-implemented mission. So we have scored high on that score.
And lastly, Professor, just some call him a statesman and a renowned peace mediator. What legacy did the former Finnish president leave behind in terms of international conflict resolution and also as a Nobel Prize winner?
Martti Ahtisaari had a passion for working for peace and stability. Martti Ahtisaari had a passion for working for peace and stability. He was not only theoretical. He was a man of action who actually genuinely believed in finding common sense in shaping issues that will help to contribute to peace and stability. And no wonder the Nobel Peace Prize Committee acknowledged that. And that is basically to acknowledge his work, and for that reason he was awarded and bestowed upon him the Nobel Peace Prize. And I think that is the biggest acknowledgement, I would say, underscore Martti Ahtisaari's commitment to work for peace and stability around the world. He left a legacy for that, and I think many people who have known him will agree he was a great man.
Thank you so much, Professor. And that is, of course, the Speaker of the National Assembly, Professor Peter Katjavivi, just giving us a brief of the late Martti Ahtisaari and the role that he played in the independence of Namibia. That is back to you to the studio.